Hello and welcome to Seaview in North Belfast for Women's Nations League action. Northern Ireland hosting Albania. It's their second game in this new look tournament, and on Saturday there was a new face in the dugout. Australian Tanya Oxtoby took charge of the side for the first time, having taken over the role in August on a 4-year deal. This will be her first opportunity to play in front of home supporters at a venue where Northern Ireland have had plenty of success in the past, including that unforgettable night against Ukraine when they qualified for their first ever European Championships. Oxtoby will be looking to pick up Northern Ireland's first ever points in the competition after a difficult day in Dublin when they lost their opener 3-0 to the Republic of Ireland.
The Uefa Stadium was certainly filled out. It goes, it may well take a reflection, but it's been claimed by Lucy Quinn, struck it really well. McCabe looks over the top for Carusa. Holloway has to get there. It's a mistake and it's ages of seconds for the Republic of Ireland. She's going to drop it right in. Plenty of green shirts attacking it. Off the woodwork. Did that cross line and did this time. It is brought to a close. Tanya Oxtoby suffers defeat in her first game in charge.
Welcome everyone. Yes, there's a big match feel to this one, given Northern Ireland's achievements here at Seaview in the recent past. A party atmosphere, for what many hope will be a very successful reign for Tanya Oxtoby. She's named her starting 11, although it has to be said, things didn't exactly go to plan for both sides in the build-up to this game. Both Albania and Northern Ireland arrived here in North Belfast very late because of traffic congestion. The sides arriving within 1 hour of kick-off. There was a consideration of potentially putting the game back by 15 minutes, but both were on the pitch in time for their warm-up, so that hasn't happened, and kick-off will take place at 7 o'clock. We'll hear from the manager in a moment, but alongside me is former international Gail Redmond. And Gail, it's the kind of thing as a manager can be so disruptive when you come into a game like this.
Yeah, because you want to be able to control the controllables, and unfortunately with traffic sometimes that isn't the way, but you just have to keep going and get the girls focused, and Tanya's done that.
Well, hopefully we are now going to hear from the new Northern Ireland manager, her first home game in charge after that defeat in Dublin. Tanya, how do you feel about this game being played at 7 o'clock when both sides were delayed and you only arrived, what, 55 minutes before kickoff?
Yeah, obviously we would have liked a bit more time, but from our point of view, we plan for scenarios like this, so we kind of know what we're going to take out and make sure the players are ready. And I guess that's part of the high-performance environment, to be prepared for everything. So players are relaxed, staff know what was going to kind of be cut out, so we're pretty confident we're in a good place.
It could be disruptive. How do you try and keep everybody calm in that scenario?
Me be calm, first of all. Look, there's certain things we can't control, and you know, we've got a process, so there's parts we can take out of that are nice to haves as opposed to necessities, and the players know that, so just making sure that they're relaxed and enjoy the occasion.
Explain your changes in the side.
Yeah, look, I've said all along we wanted to see as many players as we could without disrupting performance, so we've gone for some changes sort of in the final third and the middle areas, but stability across the back. So from our point of view, really excited to see those guys play and express themselves, and yeah, look, it's a great opportunity for them in front of a home crowd to put in a good performance.
How much are you looking forward to that home environment? Because looking back on results, I think the last time Northern Ireland failed to win a competitive game here was almost 4 years ago.
No pressure.
This has become a fortress, so, but that's a good thing, Tanya.
Yeah, no, look, no pressure. Look, from our point of view, I know the girls are excited to be back here, as am I. First home game for me, so like I said, all week it's about us being focused and making sure that we apply our principles of play. The girls in training have been fantastic at adapting and seeing the pictures, so really looking forward to seeing how they do that tonight, and hopefully the result will also be a positive one.
You haven't been here long, but tell us what you do know about Sarah McFadden and on what is a milestone occasion for her.
Yeah, I've said it all week. She's a really important player for this team, and you know, she will get her moment tonight, which is fantastic for her. Her family's here as well, so you know, from our point of view, we're super excited to be a part of that for her, and you know, I'm sure from her point of view, she's going to enjoy every minute of it.
a big night for Tanya, and also a big night, as we just mentioned, for Sarah McFadden, cap number 100. You know her very well. What makes her so special, and also how impressive has it been with the way she's kicked on over the last couple of years despite her age?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, everybody that knows Sarah McFadden says the same thing. She's the most loveliest girl on and off the pitch. You know, she's hard working. I think coming from having a baby, to pushing on and getting your 100 caps in itself, she's a role model for so many, and it's lovely. I saw her husband Damien there, her little daughter Harper in the crowd. So it's a lovely occasion for her family to be able to celebrate with her.
She also seems to be getting better and better. Professional football has really helped her in terms of her longevity, in terms of her fitness, in terms of her impact on games.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. There's factors there. You know, she's got a job that's able to do that. She's at a really fantastic club like Durham, who's pushing hard in the championship year after year. And again, she talks about a lot. I think in her interview, she talked about her support network, her husband, you know, her extended family. They're able to help her and support her to be able to live her dream.
Well, she certainly is living the dream. She said it was a dream that she felt at times was unachievable. Obviously, she has been given the captain's armband, but it's also a milestone occasion for Lauren Wade as well, just down that group of players. A 50th game for her. Number 4, Sarah McFadden, taking in every single moment. And it's very nice here that at Seaview Gale, you get to walk in between the fans. It's maybe not like other stadiums. There are supporters either side of her, because Northern Ireland over the far side and Albania are changing in the dressing rooms beneath us. Magical moments.
Absolutely. That's her daughter there, Harper, and you can just see her husband there in the sideline, you know. And we talk about what's needed to be an elite athlete. You know, you need the environment to be able to soar, but you also need the support, and she's got that in abundance. In
many ways, Sarah McFadden also is a reluctant superstar. I'm sure that she will have been saying to the players, this isn't about me, this is about making sure Northern Ireland gets something from this game. In terms of her leadership, describe those attributes that she has, that she brings to this unit.
Yeah, she's a quiet leader. She leads by her performances. You know, training, she's absolutely excellent. You can see her in the big games. You know, she pops up with goals. She keeps everyone's calm. And that's the kind of leader Sarah McFadden is.
Made her debut in 2005 against Sweden. 18 years on, still going strong, as Albania also make their way onto the pitch here in North Belfast. A second ever Nations League game. It's a competition that many are still trying to get their heads around, but it's an opportunity to get regular matches at international level, something that hasn't been quite as accessible for Northern Ireland teams in recent years. McFadden, with the captain's armband on, leads the players across the pitch. Albania making the trip here after their opening draw against Hungary in the group. The Republic of Ireland are currently in action against Hungary right now. Seaview has been a fortress in recent times. Can Northern Ireland add to that record this evening? There is a starting lineup. We will, of course, talk about the rest of the team in a moment after we hear the national anthems.
The first of the game, we just like to give her Sarah McFadden, who will be presented with her 100th cap by Conor McKendall.
Actually, a nice touch from Crusaders and from the Irish Football Association before the anthems. Colin McKendry presenting Sarah McFadden with a cap on this milestone occasion. Looks like Harper, no doubt, is going to get that for the game as Sarah makes her way back for the anthems. Quite rightly being honoured on an occasion like this. Now, the formalities will continue as per usual.
up standing for the national anthem of Northern Ireland.
Quite a few new faces on that side from the one that started at the Aviva Stadium. 6 changes in all for Northern Ireland. Keeping her place is the latest member of the Centurion Club, McFadden, and it's also a milestone for Lauren Wade, who wins cap number 50. 2 switches for Albania. Krasniki, the goal scorer against Hungary, one of the 2 players to drop out. The majority of them play their club football in Albania. It is a settled lineup for the visitors. Tonight's match officials are from Spain. Zulema Gonzalez will take charge.
Number 19, Natalia Berge, and number 21, Alma.
Gail Redmond's alongside me for co-commentary, as you have been on countless occasions over the last couple of years. And the switches, what are you making them, first of all, from Northern Ireland's point of view? A very different looking side to the one against the Republic.
Yeah, I think she's gone out with intention to score goals, and there's a little bit more firepower and energy that's come into the side. Obviously, when you have a quick turnaround, you have to have a squad that's able to come in and change things, and she's looking to her bench today, and hopefully she'll get the rewards.
Do you think that Tanya will have looked upon these 2 matches as a double header, if you like, and looked at the 2 games overall rather than maybe focusing on the Saturday's match? Michael O'Neill, for example, would have said that you win the first match and the second almost takes care of itself. But it looks like she's maybe held a couple of players back for this one, with this match in mind, to try and get points on the board.
Yeah, I think you look at both games individually but collectively, you know, because it's kind of like the one camp, but you have to know who can play in certain positions once you've looked at the opposition. So she's certainly done that, and I think, you know, the addition of the fresh legs of Kirsty McGuinness and Wade coming in, I think should really set the tone.
Normally 50th cap, Lauren Wade would have the armband. Let's say nice things about her as well. A player who's given so much and scored some fantastic goals in her 50 caps so far. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, another girl is totally unassuming in her leadership. She really leads as well, you know, by her performances. And, you know, it wasn't too long ago we were here and I was yelling for a goal down the bottom end of the railway end, and we're just hoping we'll see that again tonight.
Arguably, is this a more dynamic Northern Ireland side?
Yes, I think, you know, once you've played a game and it's a quick turnaround, you know, you've 2 days again to prepare, you need fresh legs, and I think that's what she's shown. You know, the midfield's changed, and there's a wee bit more. You know, you have Megan Bell off the dribble, which you possibly didn't have in the last game, and it should be exciting. Good
to have Megan Bell back. She's had an awful time with injury over the past couple of years, but has come through it all as Demi Vance looks for her Glentoran teammate Nadine Caldwell. Northern Ireland well above Albania in the world rankings. Albania the lowest ranked team in this group. That's a robust challenge between the right back and Kirsty McGuinness. Holloway. Northern Ireland trying to crowd out the opposition. All very compact in these early stages. Just trying to have a look at the formations and maybe ask about that in a moment, Gail. As McFadden gets it away just about, it has to be said, it was a risky ball, but it found its intended target, Nadine Caldwell. Pretty much the same back line as played against Hungary. Albania didn't have a lot of the ball on that occasion, but did manage to take the lead and hold on to it for quite a period of time, as Megan Bell is adjudged to have fouled the left back on the far side. Kurai. So an early free kick, plenty pushed up for this one, including the captain, Docky. McKenna wins it in the air. Docky involved as she plays it back to Barishka. Played in a slightly more advanced position against Hungary. Back in the midfield sector this time. Docky again involved and fouled once more. Megan Bell just protesting the innocence of Chloe McCarron. I think it was following the challenge. Bell didn't feel there was a lot in that one, but it has given the visitors another free kick, and this is in a far better position. Plenty of height in the middle. Max Suti, who plays in Germany, is an obvious target towards the back post, being picked up by Demi Vance. Plenty of numbers committed forward. Northern Ireland have to be wary from set pieces. It was something that Tanya Oxtoby felt they needed to work on after Saturday. Taken short. Plenty still in the middle. It's a good ball, and it could well be the opener. Risky defending at the back and lashed clear by Sarah McFadden. There is an early warning sign. It was Max Sudi involved, who did, and it was McFadden who did just enough at the other end. As Simone McGill trying to hit Albania on the counter-attack. Back to McCarron. We know that she can hit them for this kind of range. Pass from Megan Bell, just too short for Wade, but Northern Ireland showing what they can do in the attack just as the opposition. Two Rye initially involved. Rebecca Holloway, I think, got her body in the way of the flicked header. Not too sure there was too much contact from Mascudi, and then lashed clear from McFadden. Yeah, it was a fantastic well-worked free kick, and I thought Northern Ireland dealt with it and looked good in the counter-attack. Bell takes it at pace right across the face of goal. Really open start to this game. Here's Vance. Just that warning sign, but home side have looked dangerous in there to attacks themselves. Yeah, I think that's what set plays. You don't want to give an opposition an opportunity to practice something that they've worked on in training. So no silly free kicks need to be given away. It was well worked from the Albanians. But it's exactly what you mentioned in terms of Megan Bell and what she can bring to this team. Yeah, I think the counter-attack was just a wee bit disappointed maybe that she passed that off to Lauren Wade. If she had got a shot herself, you know, set the tone for Northern Ireland. McCarron scored that brilliant long-range effort against the Faroes a couple of years ago here. Just plays that sitting role in and around midfield, very comfortable possession. Nice coming deep to it. Uses a bit of a fulcrum at times. Here she is once again. There's that pass out towards Wade. You can see what she was intending, but everything tends to go through McCarron. Yeah, it's lovely to get some link-up play from Simone McGill there, coming off the centre-back and being able to keep the ball and give us a little bit of rotation there from the midfield into the wide area. It was Toure who actually crossed that ball. It was a really good delivery from her from the far side. A little disguised free kick initially. Another throw into Northern Ireland on the far side. Just over 5 minutes played. Albania had that good opportunity. I think it glanced off the head of Max Hudi as the low cross comes in, isn't dealt with, and it's Caldwell coming on to it. Wins a corner kick, but it so easily could have troubled the goalkeeper a lot more. Yeah, and it was excellent again from a throw-in. Rebecca McKenna gets across, not dealt with, and good movement from Caldwell. A little bit of hesitation in the Albanian backline. taken short to Bale. Lifted in. McFadden was there, so too was Caldwell, and in the end it comes to nothing. But just from that set piece, it did appear as if Northern Ireland had a significant height advantage in the middle. There's Tanya Oxtoby. First experience of a home game since taking the role. It's been very busy for getting to know the players over the past 7 or 8 days. A lot of intense sessions. I suppose it was a little bit of a benefit that she didn't have to travel too far for the game in Dublin. Spent a bit more time as a group, but it seems to have made a real impression on the players. Certainly from the interviews, they're very positive about what they feel she perhaps could bring to the setup over the coming years.
Yeah, I think when you're managerless for such a long time, it's good to have the manager in, to hear their principles and, you know, what they're looking forward to. It has been short. It's been very, very difficult in that short period of time just to get to know everyone and the styles of play that she wants to bring to the table. So I would say it'll be a good couple of months before we see, you know, that really implemented.
Flicked on by McCarran. It's Northern Ireland's first competitive game in 2023. That's staggering when you take into account it's late September. But I suppose that's the aim of this tournament. Get regular matches, 6 before the 5th of December, and then potentially a playoff if required in February, I think it is. Here's Vance. Seems to be a little bit of an overlap as McGuinness was screaming for it in space. Instead, it's Caldwell who tries to thread it through to Simone McGill. Lovely touch from Vance. Crowd showing their appreciation. Here's McGill again. There's the overlap from Vance, is asking a lot of her, and it's Tukai scurrying across to make sure she ushers it out of play.
Yeah, and you were just talking about earlier of, you know, how quickly can Tanya implement some of her principles, but that's what I saw yesterday at training, that little phase of play where you're getting your fullback involved so you can get overloads in the final third, and unfortunately the pass that time was just a wee bit heavy weighted, but it's good signs from Northern Ireland.
I suppose you look at the makeup of the squad, and Demi Vance's quality on the left hand side, Rebecca McKenna's on the right, Abby McGee's another player who's certainly capable. Cara Hamilton was utilised as well in that role, so you would argue that some of the great strengths of this team are on the wings.
Yes, without a doubt, and again another great strength is the depth now that they have, that she can make 6 changes and it can be specific to an opponent.
Caldwell puts pressure on her opposite number, wearing 16 as well. Easily dealt with this time by McFadden. McGuinness struggled to get onto the ball a little bit in the early stages. More so just because it hasn't kind of made its way out there. She's been in good positions in 2 or 3 occasions so far, Kirsty McGuinness, but after that frantic start, it's calmed down a little bit, but neither side has really been able to dominate possession, and there's another example of it. Dragged back on McGill, but she's McGuinness outside, a referee playing advantage. McGuinness tried to play it into the area of the referee and saying it wouldn't have counted anyway. Offside, flag was up. I'm not quite sure how. I don't think Kirsty McGuinness is offside there. I don't think Simone McGill's offside there, but you never know. Certainly from our angle that looked to be an odd call, but the referee blew her whistle very early on, and when I glanced at Gail's face, it suggested she agreed with me.
And I was just looking to see how quickly they're winning the ball back. It seems to be a thread too of Northern Ireland. As soon as they lose it, they're hunting in 2s and 3s, they win it back, and
it's exactly what you're going to get from the Dean Caldwell as well, isn't it? That energy, that kind of tigerish attitude. She doesn't let any midfielders dwell on the ball too much, and certainly it's been a feature early on. It's a nice balance between herself and Chloe McCarran, 2 players you know each other very well, of course, from Glentoran.
yeah, she's an old-fashioned grafter.
Here is McKenna. Switched across to Holloway, of course, is based in the United States. McGuinness can't quite get there. It was Georgie who nipped in. Formation-wise, what have you made of the way Northern Ireland started the game?
Yeah, I mean, it looks very evident there. You know, they were definitely in a bit of a 4-1 and 2-3 there, with, you know, Chloe McLaren just sitting in front of the back four, just dictating as a 6. But what I'm really loving is how early they're getting Simone McGill into the game, and you can see it here.
Right on cue. McGill clips it across, gathered by the goalkeeper, but that's 3 or 4 times, particularly in this near side, that the Aston Villa strikers just managed to find a little pocket of space. You know Simone McGill's going to be a tireless runner, and you can't give her opportunities in behind. She will take advantage.
No, especially when you know that Megan Bell and Lauren Wade are coming hard into the box to supply that support.
Caldwell does well to again find McGill. 3 around her, and it was the trio that seized possession. Dockey hasn't quite been able to get on the ball as much as she did in the opening 5 minutes. Northern Ireland seemed to have got the grips with the captain. Northern Ireland won their last international game here. That was a 1-0 victory against Italy in a friendly last November. The last home competitive game was actually at Windsor Park before the Euros, at defeat to eventual champions England in a World Cup qualifier. Just a 4th competitive game at home in the last 2 years. We're going to have 3 in the next 3 months. Caldwell.
This is really patient from Northern Ireland. Working the sides, getting the overload here.
Great idea from McGuinness. Wade. To spot that ball from Kirsty McGuinness. There was that patience, as you said, but there was also that ruthless streak to try and get in behind from McGuinness, a Cliftonville player.
Yeah, it just looks so good with their left foot, just been able to split the defence. And again, we just have been very unlucky in our final ball. The numbers are there in the box, and let's hope with this set play we can put it on point. And
almost a quarter of an hour play. Again, Bale is short, but you suspect that Demi Vance may well put it into some of those aerial threats, as the referee just has a word with McGill, who's right on top of the goalkeeper. Vance's delivery towards the back post, and well, there was that little bit of indecision, and 2 Albanian players tried to clear. I think the referee is saying that neither of them actually made any contact, so it's going to be a goal kick. But you know, with Demi Vance, she's gonna certainly ask a question from a set piece.
yeah, I don't think you see it on camera there, but there was a slip from McFadden, and I think that was her assignment there, to be back post, but unfortunately it just didn't come off.
It's been a big asset for Northern Ireland over the past couple of years under Kenny Shadle's set pieces. So many goals arriving from situations like that. Northern Ireland certainly starting to seize control of this game, you feel. McGill's come short. Support from Vance. Nicely moved towards McGuinness. Look how close Simone McGill is being marked, but still manages to find a way to pick at her teammate Vance. Just have to be careful though. Albania spent a lot of the game against Hungary without the ball, but still managed to strike first. So
yeah, I think their shape has been excellent off the ball. You can see the rotation where they bring their wide player up to press the centre back.
McGuinness drifts inside. Megan Bell wants it. Kirsten McGuinness felt that was a little bit harsh, the decision to award a handball against her.
Yeah, I can sympathise with her when you're running, your arms in the natural running position, it accidentally hits you, but fortunately, the letter of the law.
Albania finished 4th in their World Cup qualifying group behind the likes of Norway and Belgium. Norway, of course, qualifying for Australia. Here's Bale. Can't find a teammate. It's a lovely turn, it has to be said, from Barishka. And let's work towards the left-hand side, and Toure. We know what she's capable of after that deep cross early on. Blair goes down in the box, surrounded by 2, but it was McFadden and Chloe McCarron who didn't commit too early, and then Megan Bell just gets a little bit confused about who was around her, felt to think that a teammate was an easy pass, instead played in Albania, who had a decent effort from distance. Maksudi again. 20-year-old forward flashes one wide. Demi Vance. Half-time in the other group game. The Republic of Ireland are leading 2-0 away to Hungary. Hayes and McCabe with the goals. Hayes, of course, who only actually became eligible to play for the Republic of Ireland on Friday on her birthday. Just her second cap, making a big impact in, well, Katie McCabe. Anyone who watched the game Saturday will know just how big a name she is in Dublin. Incredible, the reaction that she garnered every single time she took a throw in, took a corner, kicked it, absolutely anything. She's a superstar, the Arsenal player. And I think when Northern Ireland probably look back at some of those goals, they'll feel that they could have been avoided. It maybe wasn't perhaps an unfair reflection of the game, 3-0 in Dublin, but the goals themselves, Gail probably will have been something that have been spoken about by Tanya Oxtoby over the last couple of days, as another one flashes wide from Doxby.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, first of all, just risk and reward there for Northern Ireland, just playing the ball in the Wade's feet and under a bit of pressure, and you can see the danger of Albania, of how quickly they want to counter-attack. And back to your question there, Thomas, yeah, anytime you concede a goal of a set play, you're frustrated. You know, as a manager, you're frustrated, and as players, you're frustrated because it's in your control. You practice them. You know, if there's missed assignments, then you know you want to make that right. And so hopefully, you know, over the past couple of training days, they've been able just to right those wrongs and learn lessons and be better prepared.
McGuinness again trying to link up with McGill. The point you made a little bit earlier, how quickly the home side are trying to get the ball at the feet of the Northern Ireland number 9. Holloway looking for a little bit of movement, could fall for Lauren Wade off the upright. Would have been a lovely way to mark cap number 50 for Lauren Wade. So unfortunate. It's a position we've seen her take up so many times, and as that ball drifted over the defender, Northern Ireland probably would have hoped it would have fallen to her. Goalkeeper, in fairness, got down well and tried to cover that near post, but it was hit with such venom that it had been the other side of it. I suspect that Northern Ireland would be one up. Lovely little bit of skill from Vance. This worked out nicely for McGuinness. Northern Ireland very much in the ascendancy, and but for a brilliant save, would have been 1-0 up there. Credit to the goalkeeper, Rex Heppy, who got in the way of the effort from Simone McGill, but it is relentless from the home side. McGill denied. Demi Vance has been central to everything good over the last couple of minutes herself, and well, Simone McGill, who's had to wait quite a while since finding the net at international level, would be wondering how she didn't add to her goal count with that one. It's a good stop from the keeper.
It was, but I think the delivery from Kirsty McGuinness was just pinpoint, and again, that's what she gives you. We've seen the split pass earlier, and now we're seeing a delivery right on the foot of McGill, and she is unfortunate. I think if you had scuffed it, it might have went in. Sometimes you can hit it too cleanly, but this is great pressure from Northern Ireland now. They really seem to be comfortable on the ball. You can see their patterns of play, but what I really loved earlier was Holloway's ball into the box, because when you put balls like that in the box, it asks questions, and sometimes it can come and fall just nicely back post, and we were there to be able to take that opportunity.
Lauren Wade just likes peeling away in a situation like that. So Northern Ireland to hit the woodwork and work the goalkeeper twice in quick succession. Certainly knocking at the door. Simone McGill scurries across it. Latch onto the pass from McGuinness. McCarran, can she keep it down? Flicked forward by Colwell. Didn't have that much power in it, but it's just wave of attack after attack.
It is, and again, it's Kirsty McGuinness putting those balls into the box, asking questions. McLaren has a go, and unfortunately just couldn't really get a proper strike on the ball.
The goalkeeper, Rex Heppy, very experienced 27-year-old, actually plays club football in Kosovo. Mentioned earlier that the majority of these Albanian players are based domestically. Just 3 or 4 in the squad who operate outside their home nation. Here's McKenna. Just the wrong side of the post again, but you talk about intent, and it's very obvious that using the width and getting balls into the box early is part of the game plan.
Yeah, when you're coming up against a team like Albania who wants to stay compact, you know, get numbers behind the ball, you have to, if you can't go through them, you have to go around them, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the fullbacks getting into the game, Vance on the left side, Rebecca McKenna on the right side, and Northern Ireland are really, really pushing on here. The
visitors have struggled to get out of their own half in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Vance is going to have a pop. We know what she's certainly capable of. This time, though, the goalkeeper got her body behind it, and I feel that she might want to just calm things down. It has been all Northern Ireland. And Tanya Oxtoby will certainly feel it. Home side should be in the lead. Patience is a word that you've used on countless occasions so far, Gail. And it may well be a night when that is required. We are going to try and explain a little bit more about the Nations League at halftime. Still a competition that many people are trying to figure out, but it does provide a route to major tournaments potentially. Northern Ireland in the second tier, if you like, in that group, along with Albania, Hungary, and the Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland 2 up in Hungary. You expect will go on to make it 6 points from 6. Northern Ireland at the moment the only team without a point in the group as Wade arrives once more, and it is going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, it's that girl again, Kirsty McGuinness, you know, putting the ball in the danger area, asking questions, and Lauren Wade coming in back post and getting a corner.
I'm not convinced that the assistant on the far side hadn't actually awarded a goal kick, but then it was overruled by the referee, it seems. But McFadden's up from the back, so too is Holloway. Caldwell lurking alongside that duo, and McGill, as per usual, right on top of the goalkeeper. Everybody's forward except for Rebecca McKenna. McFadden she managed to keep that in play over the top from Lauren Wade. There's that deep cross once again for McFadden.
Yeah, just wondering if the wind, you can see the flag blowing hard, it has something to do with it, or just was very, very deep. Wait for McFadden to keep that in, and Wade under pressure, ball goes high.
Yeah, I think the majority of people expected there would be quite a bit of rain today. It hasn't quite materialized, although it is fairly breezy here at Seaview, particularly at pitch level when you look at some of the flags in and around the stadium. Vance shifts it back to Holloway. No real pressure in the centre half. Finds McFadden. Even on Saturday after the game, having been named Northern Ireland's best performer of the game, Sarah McFadden wasn't letting herself dream about this evening. Said that it felt surreal. Something she never really managed achieving, and I'm sure that realism will have turned to pride when she made her way out of the dressing room alongside her young daughter Harper this evening.
Yeah, I think you just don't know, you just think the next game, and sometimes, you know, one campaign just leads to another, and 18 years later you're still going.
McGill, lovely touch, links up well with Caldwell. Left by Bell, good dummy from her, and then it's lifted in. Caldwell was attacking, it could fall for Bell. Didn't quite catch it though, Megan Bell. She's provided plenty of energy.
And Chloe McLaren's just helping everything just tick along. Every time she gets it, she's keeping possession, she's keeping the ball moving in the right areas.
And it's slightly more advanced maybe than we've seen her in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and even off the dribble, you know, she's really added that to her game as well. And she prides herself in keeping the ball. You know, she would get annoyed if she give a misplaced pass, and you're just seeing a little bit more dynamic from her.
The ball from McGill asking just a little bit too much of Caldwell, who drifted across to this near side. It's such an experienced lineup for Northern Ireland. A lot of players, of course, experienced the Euros and all those fantastic days in Southampton. Historic occasions. The intention was always to build on that. And certainly
seemed a bit soft, that one. Not much contact from Kirsty McGuinness.
A couple of times the referee maybe has been a little bit eager to blow a whistle. Decent hold-up play from Max Sutik.
Yeah,
the Albanians have been starved of any time in the Northern Ireland half over the past 10 minutes or so.
It's definitely something you see, even though that, you know, we're in the continent of Europe, but you can see the different styles so evident of nations that, you know, go down quite quickly, and, you know, the home nations maybe being a wee bit more robust to stay on their feet.
How much is that down to the domestic game and the way it's maybe played?
Absolutely.
Perceived country by country as Bell tries to shift it into the path of McGill, who was just right in the shoulder of the last defender. Vance squeezes out to McGuinness. Caldwell just cleans things up. Maksuti's had to come very deep to get involved there, and she's given the ball away. Bale just can't find Lauren Waite. It was the midfielder who got in the way. Georgie.
Yeah, I think it's really good from Northern Ireland. You can see them setting little traps, and once they get the switch, it's you know, it's imperative that they really do keep the ball and get on the counter attack and break a line and go forward, because we'll catch Albania out of shape and disjointed.
McFadden just does well to keep that ball in play. Vance on his near side, of course, it spells it both Leicester City and also Rangers, but back with Glentoran as she ties her shoelace, and Kirsty McGuinness will be eager to impress, having missed out in the starting lineup in Dublin. Manager just trying to push her side up the pitch. McCarran. A glancing header from McGill. Doesn't find its intended target of McGuinness. Picked up by Hillai, who is being pushed deeper and deeper, and that will concern the Albanian boss. Good turn from McGill. McGuinness. McGill's continued her run, and again the flag's up on the far side.
Yeah, it's fine margins, so just a wee bit of time in there. Might just need to be released just a little bit quicker.
Well, the visitors certainly weren't happy with the challenge on Hillai. She's still down and may well receive a little bit of attention. Half an hour played here, and it's been non-stop since the first whistle. In fact, if you're just joining us, it's probably been non-stop for the last 2 hours for these players, given the fact there was a little bit of a scramble from both of them to avoid traffic and get here in time.
Welcome to the West Link, huh?
Yeah. Don't be blaming that particular road, but there did seem to be congestion. We're not quite sure where, but there were suggestions that the game may have been delayed as Caldwell is fouled. Referee plays advantage, and McGill drives the goalwards, blocked by the defender. Caldwell still down. There's also an Albanian Docky on the deck. Play continues though. McGuinness, both sides temporarily down to 10. Back with Vance. She plays it in, looking for McGill. Almost made it there. It was a low stooping header from the centre half. Malaki. Caldwell now back on her feet. So too is Docky. It's relentless stuff. Lovely control from Docky. 2 players round her. Good footwork as well. It goes back to Georgie. Berisha. This is better from the visitors. Numbers over on the far side. Bashka. We haven't mentioned her too many times.
Yeah, I think Rebecca McKenna's kept her quiet. The ball hasn't gone out to Albania's left often in this game, but it's again fantastic from Northern Ireland. Win the ball back early, stretch it, numbers forward, and it's just all about the delivery now.
Spread to the near side, and Vance. McCarran wants it. Back in that for Miller charity, but every single Albanian player is behind the ball. Little darting run from McKenna. Lash clear, but Vance thought about maybe bringing it forward and having a go herself. Here she is on the ball. Play it in. It's another fine delivery, and just wide from McGill.
Yeah, it needed a left foot across, and when Caldwell got it and knocked it back, the Vance, you just see it here, just gets it out of her feet and sees the run of McGill, and just a little bit just drifts over and just wasn't able to direct it right on target.
Yeah, goalkeeper just behind her. I'm not too sure if that really altered her ability to maybe get above the ball, but it's 2 chances from McGill, and Albania will be very eager to ensure that she doesn't get too many more, giving her strike rate. 21 goals in her 74 caps for the Aston Villa striker. Has led the line so many times since she made her debut as a 15-year-old. Seems to have been around forever, Simone McGill. 28 now. Gets in the way of that pass. Work towards Bale. Space in front of her. Options with Wade on the far side. Picked out by Bale, and the left back recovered very well, it has to be said. 2 right, coming across just to take it off Wade's toe. Vance. McGuinness queuing up in the middle. Bell comes for it. Got a good head on, and the defender was a little bit fortunate. I think she turned her back and the header ricocheted off her, but it's another good chance for Northern Ireland, and they're certainly mounting up.
Yeah, Northern Ireland really up the tempo, playing the ball faster, getting the ball in those wide areas. Albania being so compact in the middle, you know, giving Northern Ireland the wide space, and just hoping with all the pressure that they've had that they can get one before the break.
We spoke about the difference in this side personnel-wise. They've certainly played to their strengths so far. Trying to spread the play and use the width as it's one back by Bell, and Simone McGill looked to be on her way, but for the outstretched right leg of the defender. Albania starting to live dangerously at the back. It was Tukai that time. Important period of the game, though, just before the break. A massive psychological boost for Northern Ireland to find a goal. Bell just overhit the pass a little bit with her former Linfield teammate Rebecca McKenna outside her. You can see the energy that Megan Bell brings, perhaps at times. She's been a little bit overeager to try and move the ball tonight, or is that something that the manager Tanya Oxby would have wanted from her to maybe take those risks?
No, definitely that's what Megan brings to this team, you know, off the dribble. We love to see her move like that because she's so talented. She's got a shot from range as well. I would like to see more of that. When I was with her in the Czech Republic, I said to her, you shoot more. I don't think she scores enough goals from the midfield.
She's got an infectious personality. So unlucky, as I mentioned earlier, with injuries, missed the Euros as a result of it, and then had another knee issue after that. But at 22, plenty of time ahead for Megan Bell. Holloway.
Oh.
Well, Vance goes back towards McFadden, and she had to be aware that the oncoming attacker, it was a little bit risky, but home side get away with it and then give away a free kick themselves.
Yeah, I think Hilda just does a really good job of getting her body in front there for Caldwell. She really had no option but possibly bring her down, but gives Albania a wee opportunity again, another set play.
And you can see the overlap coming now with the runner outside in Georgie. Kirsty McGuinness, I don't think has noticed her in this near side. The number 19 in acres of space. And saying it is going to be Docky from distance. I think that was an intended effort on goal. It was a long way out. It actually ended up being a very good cross across the edge of the 6-yard box, but the way she shaped up initially, it did appear as if she was having a go. Nobody then attacked that space for what was a decent ball in.
I was mostly looking, none of her teammates shouted at her for having that shot.
Yeah. There's no doubt that was the intention, I have to say, the way she walked up to it, but Docky's looked very comfortable and good on the ball, and there's another example of it. Shifted through the middle this time, and curbing the skipper has to be a key part of Northern Ireland's game plan. Shannon Turner hasn't had a lot to do. When you think back to that early chance, I think it was Max Sudi that time, got the faintest of touches in the header. Holloway and McFadden got it away. It was certainly a sign for Northern Ireland that it wasn't all going to be one-way traffic, but they've recovered really well since then and pretty much done everything apart from score.
Yeah, I just see the wee tactical change there from Tanya Oxbury, just moving Lauren Wade to her natural left side, and Kirsty McGuinness now becomes inverted.
It's something we've seen quite a bit with Wade and McGuinness. as Megan Bell puts the ball down. Just considers her options. Vance also comes across.
You have to admit, Thomas Gonzalez, the referee, has been very consistent in her fouls. You know, the slightest touch has been calling them.
Bell's ball in, doesn't beat the first player. And it's recycled by McFadden. McCarran under pressure straight away. It's good play by the midfielders to rush out. It was Hill Eye, and it's all the way back now with Turner, so that's a piece comes to very little as Vance squeeze inside to Megan Bell. Referee thought about awarding the free kick for handball, then played advantage instead. Here's Vance. She might have a pop from distance. We know that her repertoire of spectacular goals is growing. Demi Vance just off target this time.
Yeah, I think she just looks up and sees the keeper off her line, and very unlucky there not to get that one on target. It's good to have that awareness, that ability, and in your toolbox to be able to do that.
Now, I think it was Austria. She scored a stunning goal against, and that 2-2 draw here. Big result against that top side, Austria, in the World Cup qualifiers. Here's Wade. Good ball in again. Is this the occasion when Northern Ireland break the headlock? Not quite. It was missed by both Caldwell and Simone McGill, and then Kirsty McGuinness was coming in just behind goalkeeper. Got there first.
Such a tease and ball in, wasn't it? Right in between, right in that danger area between the goalkeeper and the centre back.
I think Albania will certainly be the happier of the two teams at the break if the scorelines stays the same, because Northern Ireland will feel that they've created enough opportunities to break that deadlock. Here is McCarran. Super ball to pick out McGuinness. Now in that right-hand side. Crowded out of it by two players. It was Toure who actually came back in support of her teammate. And there's a pressure from McGuinness now on Toure, forcing the left back backwards.
It has to be said, Kirsty McGuinness is certainly up for this match. Her work rate off the ball when she loses it, to go in the press against, really set the tone for Northern Ireland tonight.
Into the final 30 seconds this first half. No indication yet as to how much additional time is going to be played. We haven't had that many stoppages as McFadden plays it across to Holloway. Vance. Docky. One minute of additional time. The board has been raised. As McFadden just guides it back to Shannon Turner. Here's Holloway. Is there time for one more opportunity? Bale loses out to the midfielder Berisha. Referee going to have a little glance at her watch and brings the first half to a close. Albania had a good opportunity early on, but Docky and her teammates have been on the back foot for much of the opening 45 minutes. Northern Ireland went close, hitting the woodwork through Wade. And McGill has been denied on a couple of occasions. Still scoreless so at the break. Toure has looked dangerous on the left-hand side. But Sarah McFadden and her teammates make their way to the dressing room, I'm sure wondering how they're not ahead in this Nations League game. Half-time scoreline here at Seaview is Northern Ireland 0, Albania 0. So plenty of positives from Northern Ireland's point of view in that opening 45 minutes. And Gail, I mentioned those opportunities. Which ones stand out in particular for you?
Yeah, I think probably the cross from Kirsty McGuinness back post, and unfortunately Lauren Wade just could not get that right on target, you know, just off the post. Again, Simone McGill's is another one, you know, it's on target, but the keeper makes a fantastic save. But lots of great things from Northern Ireland, as you can see here. It's all about the delivery, and unfortunately, if she had hit a far post there, might have given her a better opportunity to finish it. But they're in the right areas. They're having support, numbers being forward, and I just think it's fine margins here, and hopefully we can get the right pass at the right time to really break that deadlock.
What will the manager be saying in the dressing room, aware of all those opportunities that have already been created?
Yeah, more of it. I think it's probably, like we said, probably very early on where we're getting Simone into the game early. We were willing for her to peel off the centre back and come in, and you know, everything that's good about Northern Ireland right now. It's Kirsty McGuinness, it's Simone McGill, and it's Lauren Wade. You know, it's the front three, and she'll just be asking for more of that. I think also she'll probably be aware that anything that good that's happening from Albania is from Docky. You know, she's having the tempo. She's the one that's willing to have the shots and dictate the play. So I think she'll be cautious of her and saying, when she gets the ball, let's put a wee bit more pressure on her.
But how encouraged have you been with the way that Northern Ireland have approached the game in the front foot?
Absolutely. What's probably encouraged me the most is how quickly we're winning the ball back. You know, as soon as we lose it, we're hunting in packs. You can see it. Kirsty McGuinness is doing so much work off the ball because we want to win it higher up the pitch and disjoint them. Because they sit in such a low block, we're having to be patient to play around them. But if we can put pressure on straight away when maybe they're trying to counter us, counter the counter, I think it'll work in our advantage. Why
do you feel that Seaview works for this team? I mean, you look at the record, is it just something that's clicked, or do you feel that maybe the condensed playing surface and the fact that there are so many memories here aids the game plan, for example, perhaps more so than the likes of a wide open expanse of the Aviva Stadium? Okay, you know, as a player, there's always that one stadium where you just feel comfortable. It feels like home. Also, when you've had success here, and then you get more confidence. It's compact. You can feel the energy from the crowd. And again, like you said, we've had so many special moments that always live in your memory. When you look at the quality in the bench, how big an impact could substitutes have today? Yeah, I think in the last game as well, the substitutes, you know, made an impact. I think right after half-time at the Aviva, we looked so strong, and we were bringing fresher legs into the midfield, which really helped. And I think you'll see that tonight. You know, there'll be players that are just sitting, waiting for their opportunity, you know, to get game time, and hopefully if they do, they can make the difference. And there's a look at some of the Albanian players warming up. They too will feel that they're very much in this game, led for much of that opening day encounter against Hungary. There's Marissa Callahan, usually wearing the captain's armband, has to be content with a place on the bench this evening. But there's still plenty of this encounter to go in what is a new look competition. The Nations League has been around for 4 or 5 years in the men's game, but this is a new version of the competition for women's football. In terms of how it works, I could try and explain, but trust me, we'll be here all night, so I think this video will do it a lot more adequately and effectively.
The system, comprising 2 interconnected phases, the UEFA Nations League and the European qualifiers, will ultimately lead to qualification for the UEFA Women's Euro or the FIFA Women's World Cup. Each phase will begin with a league stage, which, to ensure competitive balance, will have 3 tiers. Within each league, teams will play in groups of 4 or 3 teams on a home and away basis. The first edition will serve as the qualification campaign for UEFA Women's Euro 2025. The Nations League phase will begin in autumn 2023, with leagues formed based on the latest coefficient rankings. At the end of the Nations League stage, group standings will determine promotion and relegation, as well as qualification for the Nations League finals. The 4 group winners of League A will contest the Nations League finals, comprising 2 single-leg semi-finals, a third-place match, and a final to determine the first ever UEFA Women's Nations League winners. In the first edition and every 4 years, the Nations League finals will also decide Europe's participants in the Women's Olympic football tournament. Automatic promotion and relegation will see the group winners of Leagues B and C promoted, while those who finish bottom of Leagues A and B, as well as the lowest ranked third-placed team of League B, will be relegated. Promotion and relegation matches played on a home and away basis will be contested by the third-placed teams in League A and the League B runners-up for a place in League A, while the 3 best-ranked third-placed teams in League B will play the 3 best-ranked League C runners-up for a position in League B. At the conclusion of the Nations League phase, these promotions and relegations will be reflected in the league allocation for the European qualifiers phase. This phase begins in the first half of 2024 and will serve as the qualification pathway for UEFA Women's Euro 2025. The 4 group winners and 4 runners-up from League A will qualify directly for the final tournament, while 2 rounds of home and away playoffs will determine the remaining qualified teams. The 3rd and 4th placed teams in League A will play the League C group winners and 3 best-ranked runners-up, with the 8 winners progressing to round 2. The 4 group winners and 2 best runners-up in League B will play against the 2 remaining runners-up and 4 third-placed teams of League B, with the 6 winners progressing to round 2. In round 2, the 14 teams will be drawn into 7 ties, and the 7 winners will progress to the final tournament. The UEFA Women's Euro 2025 host is guaranteed a slot in the final tournament, and the playoff paths will be adjusted as necessary to take into account their performance. Additionally, at the conclusion of the European Qualifiers League stage, no promotion and relegation matches will be played. However, automatic promotions and relegations will be reflected in the league composition for the next competition edition. With this dynamic and continuous competition system, where every team can qualify for a major tournament and in which every match matters, there's a lot to look forward to in European women's national team football.
What's in front of you is opportunity.
We don't know who will win, but we can't wait to find out.
Oh my word, Paul Heatley!
So many top riders here.
It's just been enjoyable stuff, isn't it?
It's all coming up, Limerick. Game on. And the pitch invasion can begin.
Unrivaled coverage of your favourite sports.
We'll be back next season. Bye-bye.
From BBC Sport Northern Ireland.
It has been an action-packed few months for BBC Sport Northern Ireland. Plenty more coming your way over the next few months as well. Half-time break here at Seaview. It's scoreless between Northern Ireland and Albania in this UEFA Women's Nations League game. It's the first time that Northern Ireland have played at home in the competition. They lost their opening encounter on Saturday in Dublin against the Republic of Ireland. It finished 3-0 there at the Aviva Stadium. And in the group's other game taking place tonight, Hungary welcomed the Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland currently leading that game by 4-0 with 20 minutes of that encounter remaining. Goals from Hayes, McCabe, Carusa and O'Sullivan. So Northern Ireland hoping to win their first point in this competition tonight, but it looks like the Republic of Ireland are going to make it 6 from 6 and top the group. Northern Ireland are the third seeds in this group. Albania are the lowest ones. As that video was just explaining, there are possibilities around promotion and relegation. Essentially, the side that finishes top of the group goes up to the first tier. The team that finishes bottom goes down to the third, and the two sides in between have the opportunity to go up or go down. So plenty of matches over the next couple of months. Northern Ireland have a double header against Hungary coming up next, but they will want to go into that game with points on the board. Going into tonight's match, they were the only side in the group without anything after that draw between Hungary and Albania. But as half-time comes to a close here, the players are getting ready to come out. Northern Ireland ready very early on. You can see Simone McGill and Rebecca McKenna, who it looks like may well not be taking part in this second half. She's got a tracksuit top on. She does appear to also be showing a bruise or an issue with her upper leg, so it may require a switch from Tanya Oxtoby. We'll have further clarification of that in the next couple of minutes as to who else is going to come in for that one. And that would be a lost skill, wouldn't it, if Rebecca McKenna doesn't emerge for the second half? Is Cara Hamilton the natural replacement there, given the role that she played on Saturday?
I'm not sure. Maybe she might just go straight swap with Abby McGee, but I'm not really sure because I don't see many people specifically warming up.
I'm just having a glance over at the substitutes, and I think both Abby McGee and Cara Hamilton are there. I don't think maybe they've been aware of it. Maybe I've got it wrong, and Rebecca McKenna, who's kissing the baby on the way out, may be involved, but certainly the shin pads are off, the tracksuit top is on, so I suspect that there may well be a change coming up. Marissa Callahan also on the bench, of course, the regular captain. We will find out very soon.
I think she's just cool, Thomas.
Yep, she's taking the top off. And yeah, there you go. That shows what I know. Rebecca McKenna just kept the top on just to keep us guessing, making me look stupid. She's going to play in the second half. So forget about that last question, Gail. She's back.
And I think that's a good thing.
There you go. You could have buried me there. Instead, you were just diplomatic, as per usual. Number 2, McKenna. Back again. And back to take her place in a regular right back berth. So, as I was saying, no changes to either side. Docky, the Albanian captain. The last time Northern Ireland lost here, it was actually in a friendly game against Scotland. But competitively, you had to go all the way back to that opener with Kenny Shields in charge. His first game, a 6-0 defeat against Norway. A match has been spoken about so many times because of what happened after that. And Rebecca McKenna is now going to receive attention. It does look to be her back, I think, is the issue. She's perhaps fallen awkwardly on the surface. Here she is jumping for that ball. There's a contact, and it did look very painful. She's a player who doesn't tend to stay down much. So in the opening seconds of this second half, there's concern from the Northern Ireland bench, and you can see both Abby McGee now and
Laura Rafferty just warming up, more as a precaution, I think. Receiving attention. Docky, the Albanian skipper, just coming across to make sure she's okay, and there is Abby McGee. Just been spoken to alongside Laura Rafferty. Should a change be required, but Rebecca McKenna, it looks like it's going to be okay to continue. Gets the okay from the medical staff, and there's going to be a Northern Ireland ball. I suspect more of the same will have been the message from the manager as Simone McGill tries to get in the end of it. And interestingly, Lauren Wade's got the captain's armband for the second half, marking her milestone 50th appearance. So it says a lot about Sarah McFadden handing it over, wanting to make sure that Lauren Wade has that special moment too. Kirsty McGuinness, of course, was skipper in her 50th appearance and scored as well. Lauren Wade's gone very close to doing the same this evening, denied by the upright just after the half-hour mark, I think it was, as Holloway gets it away to McCarran. Demi Vance. Caldwell's made a run up ahead. Lauren Wade not picked up at the back post, and Simone McGill's in the middle. Here it comes. Doesn't quite travel as far as McGill. McKenna quickly into the fray again. Plenty of bodies forward in green and white. That's another decent delivery. Could work out for McGill, who attacked it not once but twice and just falls nicely for the goalkeeper. But it is, and it's when you have an inverted, you know, Lauren Wade's having to come inside, but the delivery's excellent and right on McGill's head, but unfortunately she just can't seem to get her own flick on to get herself a proper opportunity to have a shot.
Credit though to Tukai, who's marshalled McGill very well. Physical defender. But this is where Albania have certainly looked the most dangerous from set pieces of it. Very few forays into the Northern Ireland half throughout the opening 49 minutes of this game. Docky looking for the physical presence of Max Sooty in there, and home side try and hit Albania on the counter attack. Bell trying to switch it across to the far side. Doesn't quite work out, and here is Toure. Shannon Turner hasn't had a lot to do after a busy day on Saturday at the Uefa Stadium. Conceded 3 goals, but also made 2 or 3 top-class stops herself. It's great to have Jackie Burns on co-commentary for that one up there. Coming back from injury, the goalkeeper recently signed a new long-term deal at Reading. That's hooked away by the visitors. Holloway quickly across. Vance just trying to guide into the path of McGuinness, who was slightly behind her.
Yeah, it was a great idea, just didn't come off there, but great awareness from Vance just to go back around them. Again, we see Albania's left back there holding her calf.
Yeah, Touré's been very good. Probably the highlight was that cross which led to the chance for Max Suti in the opening minutes. The closest that the visitors actually came to a goal. It's starting to get very breezy here at Seaview. I wonder, it may well be acting in Albania's favour in the second half. Difficult to tell from where we are. Referee just making sure that Touré is okay. Good crowd in Seaview for this game. A lot of children has been a feature with matches here over the past couple of years, and Touré just receiving a little bit of medical attention before hoping to get back in the field of play. Simone McGill just willing on the players. Patience is a word that Gail has used on 2 or 3 occasions, whether that's on the ball or just making sure that they don't try and force this game too much. It's a little bit subdued over the past couple of minutes, the crowd. And plenty to be pleased with in the first half, despite it still being scoreless. You're just joining us, chances for Wade and Simone McGill. The latter denied by a really good save from the goalkeeper, Rex Heppy, and, well, Lauren Wade on 50th cap. Very unfortunate to see her effort cannon off the upright.
Strange decision there for a throw-in. Somebody wasn't quite sure what exactly they were meant to do there, and Northern Ireland able to come out there with the goal kick. And I think they need to up the tempo. I think it's suiting Albania being a little bit slower here in the second half. They're able just to come back and sit. Sometimes it looks like a 4-4-2.
And that was a real strength for the opening 45. The urgency with which Northern Ireland shifted the ball forward. That's a better example of it. Wade felt she was fouled. Throw-in is going to go the way of Northern Ireland, though. McKenna with the more direct approach there. Here's McFadden. Holloway, everybody inside the Albanian half. Holloway tries to thread it through for McGill. Good footwork. Referee playing advantage. Bale just squeezed a little bit towards the sideline, but still manages to win the corner kick. And a lot of that had to do with the ball played from Rebecca Holloway in towards McGill. How she managed to keep it in control and pick out Bale. It's very impressive from the former Everton striker, now at Aston Villa.
Yeah, it was like threading the needle there, how she was able to pick out McGill, and great footwork again from Megan Bale to get it under control and deliver a great cross.
Vance's delivery. Holloway was in space. Here she is. Tries to flick it inside and has to make do with another corner kick.
Yeah, I think because Albania is coming back and so far in the numbers, it's the pullback that's probably going to help Northern Ireland if they can find someone maybe at the edge of the box or at the penalty spot. In those situations, they get a first-time shot off. You can see it here. There's numbers behind the ball, but instead of putting it back in the danger area, can they maybe change the angle? It might work in their favour.
It's so condensed inside that Albanian box. 9 of their outfield players are in and around the goalkeeper. Just the one pushed out on the corner kick taker is I think it was Holloway again throwing herself at that ball. The goalkeeper, though, very brave. Rex Heppy. Still 4-0 for the Republic of Ireland in the other game in Group B1. Three Irish League matches also taking place tonight. Linfield leading Crusaders 2-0 as it shifted towards this near side. And a rare opportunity for Albania, just drifts over the top of Shannon Turner's goal, but 2 goals for Linfield, 2 goals for Matthew Fitzpatrick. Still scoreless between Cliftonville and Coleraine. Apology, it was actually Joel Cooper who gave Linfield the advantage against Crusaders, and there's been a missed penalty in the encounter between Loughgall and Larne. The home side, Loughgall, missing a penalty. You can keep up to date with all those games on the BBC Sport Northern Ireland website right now. 7:45 kickoffs there, 7 o'clock here. If you're just joining us, at one stage looked like that the match may have been delayed after both sides were stuck in traffic, and they arrived here just under an hour before kickoff. But it started at 7, and here is Rebecca McKenna trying to link up with Bell for the opening goal of the game. Northern Ireland have the bulk of opportunities. Colwell denied, flick back, and on cap number 50 it is Lauren Wade. How fitting that she should score the goal, having been given the armband at half-time. Northern Ireland have been knocking on the door. Caldwell was the first player who had her effort saved by the goalkeeper, Rex Heppy, but she was powerless to stop the follow-up. Powerful header. Caldwell did very well to pull it back to Wade. And Lauren Wade of Reading simply doesn't miss opportunities like that.
It's a fantastic header by Nadine Caldwell just to put it back in that danger area, and when you're in the right place at the right time.
A 9th international goal, and it's one that's been coming.
I know Danielle McDowell, who's on the coaching staff, will be happy she was on set plays. Should we take on all the credit, Thomas?
Well, certainly the home side have looked very dangerous from those set pieces, especially in international football, a key element of the game. Coaches don't get a long time with the players on the pitch, and I suppose attacking set pieces and defending them can be the difference in winning and losing, and so much focus on it. And you can just see it was a special goal from Lauren Wade. It's not the best one she scored for Northern Ireland, but on a 50th cap,
it'll be a memorable one, Thomas.
It's a memorable one. And even a reaction kind of typified that. Now playing with Reading in England, Lauren Wade. And now Albania have to push up a little bit more themselves. Here is Wade, the goal scorer. Just wonder how that will impact the game. McGill, unfortunate not to take the ball under control, as she was right in the shoulder of the last defender there. Here's McKenna. Seems to be okay after that knock early in the second half. I'm not saying that Northern Ireland were under pressure, but will they perhaps play with a little bit more freedom?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see maybe does Albania come out of their two blocks and maybe give Northern Ireland a little bit more space. You know, it'll be interesting to see if they'll just sit in and make Northern Ireland have to play the ball wide and be more patient on the ball. And it looks like it. They haven't changed their shape at all since they've conceded a goal. And
nice play to pick out the run of Wade. McGill wants a pull back. Didn't quite catch it. Docky shifts it back to Bashka. And there is going to be a change for the visitors. Matala coming on in place of Bashka, who's been starved of opportunities in this near side. Matala makes her way into midfield. Wasn't involved against Hungary in that 1-1 draw to kick off the Nations League campaign. It's very much a period of transition for Albania. They've introduced a number of new faces in terms of the Nations League squad. Mentioned on a couple of occasions how much of an opportunity is for managers just to assess their whole squad, see what they've got, looking ahead to European Championship qualifying groups and further down the road, the World Cup. Dockey takes virtually every set piece for Albania. Holloway got her head onto it. Substitute involved straight away. Matala shifts it back. And Barishka, under real pressure, still manages to retain possession. Dockey. Haven't seen her in an advanced role like this, but Rebecca McKenna wins that duel and sets Bell on the way. Another chance for her. Back with McCarran. Gracefully plays it across to Demi Vance. McGill, first time ball to McGuinness, opens up for Kirsty McGuinness. Who's going to get there first? It was the defender right in the edge of the area, but it's won back by McGill, who does brilliantly. She tries to pull it back to McGuinness, and again it's Macaulay who not once but twice denies Northern Ireland. It was a good challenge initially to get there just ahead of McGuinness, but credit to McGill, who looks so bright, was quickly on it, held her nerve and just couldn't pick out her teammate.
Yeah, but it was the first ball too. She played it first time around the corner, and again McGuinness showing her pace and her willingness to, you know, to be a runner there, and unfortunately just when she couldn't pick anybody out, the numbers were behind her again from Albania. But I had a great conversation with her when we were in Dundee, and she talked about what she's learning day in, day out from Rachel Daly. And she just says, you know, the addition of Rachel to Aston Villa has really helped her game. And I think you can see it tonight. I think you can see the areas in the pitch where, you know, she's learning things. And she was talking about her distances in the box and her finishes as well. And again, that when you go into a professional environment and you're surrounded by better players, you have an opportunity to learn.
She said that she's felt after that horror injury during the Euros that she's come back fitter and stronger. Are you seeing that?
Absolutely. I think in the full-time environment and the medical care that she was able to get at Aston Villa was, you know, she talks about it herself. It was so professional. It was top drawer, and you know, she looks fantastic out there.
Very much leading the line, just like she did on Saturday as well. It can be a lonely role sometimes, particularly against some of the top sides that Northern Ireland have played in recent years, but always a willing runner, and well, it's come very close to adding to her 21 goals so far this evening. Wouldn't put it past her in the remaining 26.5 minutes. Bale. Wonder will we see a switch from Northern Ireland in the next while. Caldwell. Maksudi on the receiving end of a Sarah McFadden challenge. Maksudi wants a card. I think the referee said it wasn't even a free kick. I'm not going to give a card. She played on at the time. Felt that McFadden got the ball. Maksudi though was slow to make her way back onto her feet. She felt the full force of that one.
Know what to say, Thomas? If you're looking for a card, go to Hallmark.
Well, let's look at it. Did she have a case? I think it was a case of Sarah McFadden winning the ball and then following through. But the referee was happy enough to play on and only stopped it when Maksudi was down in the ground.
I think you would have been shocked if she had to give it, because she's been given a lot of things very softly.
Here's McCarran. Caldwell. Almost found McGill. He'd used her body really well, but not for the first time. Malachy, who has been a real rock at the back. Not the tallest centre half, but he's done very well in there. The duo of Caldwell and McGill almost combining again, but it's another opportunity from a set piece, this time the far side. And well, we know what Demi Vance is going to do with all those options in the middle. Caldwell and McFadden just palmed away by the goalkeeper. It looked like it was going to be the fairy tale for McFadden. Made a really good connection with the ball then, just over the head of Caldwell. And well, what a story that would have been if both Vance and McFadden had scored. I think she thought she had. Goalkeeper, though, not for the first time. Palms it away from danger. And but for Rex Happy, this game would pretty much have been over.
Yeah, I think so. And McFadden, I think she was almost running away, wasn't she, with her arms in the air? And I was going to come out with a quote from Gary Neville. It was written in the stars, but not yet.
Vance. You can keep your Gary Neville quotes to a minimum, please. You've already had that bad hallmark joke, and that's a yellow card as it is. If you start quoting Gary Neville, you could be off. Sorry, I'm speaking as a Liverpool fan there.
He'll never walk alone.
Vance can't manage to find a way past the midfielder. But Northern Ireland certainly seem to have been buoyed by that goal. Albania haven't really offered too much in attack for the majority of this game, but it was a similar story against Hungary when they were very much against play, took the lead and held on to it for 40 minutes or so. It's been very professional from Northern Ireland this evening. Midway point of this second half. Just have to be careful. I don't take any risks. McCarran. There's a little bit of energy from her. McGill does brilliantly to hold on to the ball and then play it back to the midfielder. Drifts across to Bale. Might be tempted to have a pop. Took a little bit of a deflection, but the goalkeeper had to watch it all the way and got a touch as well.
Oh, that was absolutely fantastic, from the dribble from McLaren to the shot from Bale. It's the good things that you want to see from Northern Ireland. Defender gave her a little bit of room, encouraged her to go ahead and had that strike.
I think it also took a touch off the defender on its way towards the Albanian goal. Megan Bell's going to take the corner kick and go short. McGuinness, still plenty of options, just changing the angle. 3 or 4 Northern Ireland players trying to nip in behind the high off sideline.
Yeah, it was just tough for Holloway and McFadden just to stay online. Maybe needed to be floated.
It's a mistake at the back. Cleaned up by Maliki. Northern Ireland have just upped the tempo a little bit. McGuinness. It is finished Hungary 0, Republic of Ireland 4. So if results stay the same, Northern Ireland would go into second. Northern Ireland would be on 3 points, the Republic on 6, and then 1 point apiece for Albania and Hungary. And it certainly would be a positive start to Tanya Oxtoby's reign ahead of that double-header against Hungary coming up. McKenna. A bit of a Mazy run from her. She's continued in towards a penalty area. Back to the goal scorer, Wade. Bell had a pop from the edge of the box a moment ago. Gives it away this time, though. Dockey's the only Albanian player further forward who drifts past McFadden, then takes a tumble.
Thanks,
Could well be the first card of the game. It is a yellow card for the Centurion, and I think she probably expected that.
Yeah, I think she does so well there. McFadden, she gives her a wee tug there, but I think shows her experience. I think maybe in 50 caps before that, she maybe dives in early and she doesn't. She knows she's the last player, and I think it was really, really wise.
So home side with some defending to do as McFadden receives that yellow card. Dockey just looking across to the bench to see what the plan is. It's a better ball in this time towards a back post area, and there's frustration from Dockey because she gestures across to the bench as if to say, look, I did my part of the job. Had that shot from a long distance, even further out than that in the first half. McCarran just let it run too much, and Albania have numbers over here. Dockey is one of them. Has another go at goal, but was quickly crowded out of it. Berisha. A little bit better from Albania. As McGill at the other end tries to make a nuisance of herself, and well, it's no nonsense from Malaki, who has probably been the standout player at the back for the visitors. It's got a little bit scrappy over the last couple of minutes. Wonder will there be changes coming. A couple of Northern Ireland players getting ready. Emily Wilson and Jolie Andrews, two players who started the game in Dublin. Wilson in a slightly more withdrawn role in the position up top we've seen her in the last couple of years. That should be throw-in's been given the way of Albania, right in front of the Northern Ireland bench, and there is going to be time for that change. So the double switch, off goes Megan Bell for Andrews, and Wilson will replace Kirsty McGuinness. Will that be like for like?
Looks like it, yeah. And then you can tell Kirsty maybe a little bit disappointed. I think she's been fantastic for the 60 minutes, the 73 minutes that she's been on. She's worked her socks off on and off the ball, and probably raging she didn't get a goal. Most strikers are like that, and I think she can be really proud of her performance tonight.
Haven't seen the likes of Kerry Beattie, Caitlin McGuinness, two young strikers very capable of scoring a goal. Do you expect that they may well be introduced in the last 15 minutes?
I would love them too, and you can understand, it's still 1-0, and sometimes managers are a little bit cautious in those areas, but I saw them yesterday in their shooting practice, and both were on fire. Obviously, Caitlin is top goal scorer last year in the Nifl Premier League. Kerry is the current one, and they're both excellent footballers.
It's very composed from McKenna. Just as Albania were starting to thread a few passes together. McKenna just apologising to Wade. Even though she was fine, she felt she could have squeezed it out to this near side. That's had Jolie Andrews outside her. Home side just need to be careful here because kind of feel that there's a growing confidence from the visitors after the last couple of minutes, and that's a storming run from Holloway. Wilson's first involvement, 3 in the middle. Colwell's busting a gut to get in there, but Wilson can't get past the first player.
Yeah, it's just a wee bit loose here. Where Northern Ireland were excellent in the first half of winning the ball back so quickly. They're giving Albania a little bit of momentum to get 2 and 3 passes and a switch. And as much as we look good going forward, it's important that we're still very, very tight and compact in the back.
Vance. Into the final quarter of an hour of this game. Game that Northern Ireland have controlled for long periods. Weird. Good movement up ahead from McGill, who's pushed towards the corner flag. There's no real space to work with. Back with Wade. Vance has come up. She might have a go. First touch just took her away from goal, and she wasn't able to wrap her foot around it like she normally does.
Yeah, she's just leaning back there. I think she just lost a little bit of her balance. But again, fantastic work rate from Simone McGill to run to the channel. Make it an option for her teammates.
Certainly doesn't seem to be tiring. No real urgency, it has to be said, from the Albanians. Taking their time, and in particular Turek. A little bit of wrestling going on between Metalla and McKenna. Still work to do here. Wilson. Plays it back to Vance. Holloway's really enjoyed pushing up in this second half in particular.
Yeah.
Wilson. Jolie Andrews, outsider. Can she pick out a teammate? Not this time, but does the next best thing, winning a corner kick.
Yeah, I think if you remember, Rebecca Holloway had under Kenny Shields a little bit of time in the 6. You know, she was very comfortable in the midfield there before she was utilised again at further back at left back and centre back.
Yeah, scored 3 goals very early on in her Northern Ireland career. Vance plays it in. And right on cue, Holloway was almost on the end of it. I suppose there was always that debate, how do you accommodate Vance and Holloway on the left-hand side. Different managers have tried different combinations. Here's Wade, hits it early, hits the first time, but it was always rising.
Yeah, I think when you had the other 2 Centurions, Julie Nelson and Ashley Hutton, it was tough there to get an opportunity at the back. They were unbelievable servants for Northern Ireland, and hopefully it won't be too long. We'll see Nelson back in the fold.
Yes, even Sarah McFadden at times has maybe been played as a midfielder just to play the Northern Ireland strengths, given that duo.
Yeah, I think Sarah McFadden said herself, like, what a privilege it is that her name's, you know, right beside Ashley Hutton and Julie Nelson for all the many great things that they've done for the country over the years.
And there are a few more not that far behind when you look at the caps list. Rachel Furness on 93, for example. Marissa Callahan doesn't have that long to go. She's in the mid-80s. So
I think Vance is up there as well.
Yeah, Timmy Vance, I think, as time goes on. 86th cap tonight for Demi Vance, so there could well be some more Centurions, but Certainly the Trailblazers leading the way of Julie Nelson, Ashley Hutton, and now Sarah McFadden. Northern Ireland taking their time over this free kick. Vance. Caldwell attacking it. Goalkeeper did really well. McFadden forces it goalward, still not dealt with, and it's Wilson who got in the end of it, but there was a flag up. And again, good goalkeeping.
We talk about it all the time, but it's the delivery, isn't it? Asking questions of the goalkeeper, and just haven't seemed to get a real proper clean strike from distance tonight.
Yeah, Rex happy. Certainly pleased with their own performance. Well, right on cue. Callahan and Furness adding a cap. Plenty of experience in that duo.
Yeah, they look like they're completely buzzing to get on.
I suppose as well, it's a case of the manager wanting to make sure that they don't let this lead slip in the last 10 minutes. There have been so many positive attributes to the Northern Ireland display. A second goal would pretty much secure the victory as Wilson tries to play in towards the near post, but 3 points and a first win, I'm sure, would be a nice way for Tanya Oxtoby to conclude her first international break. 8 minutes to go. Number 8, number 10. Two very familiar faces will be introduced, and Zoe McCarran first to make way.
Yeah, I can
and
see.
The second is Caldwell, so it's a completely different midfield. For the final quarter of this game, Nadine Caldwell has been relentless as per usual. A little bit unfortunate herself not to score. She's had a couple of decent opportunities tonight by the goalkeeper, but on comes on Marissa Callahan. As I mentioned a moment ago, cap number 94 for record goal scorer Rachel Furness.
Just see a wee bit of a change maybe in a shape of maybe going into a 2, but Callahan looks like she's ready to score herself.
Well, she's certainly charging forward into the danger area. Play back. Wilson just behind her. Holds on to the ball, and there are still 3 in the middle. Callahan's one of them. Arms up, looking the ball. Instead, it's Furness who gets involved. Little 1-2 doesn't quite work out. I mentioned a couple of occasions that 1-0 Northern Ireland had to be careful not to commit too many forward. Callahan can't quite get there. Here she is involved in the ball. Still Callahan. Furness, might she have a pop? No, spreads it towards the far side. And Wade, so many bodies in the middle. All it's going to need is a touch again. The delivery was top class. Just too far ahead of Simone McGill and Callahan.
Simone McGill very, very unlucky, but I think Marissa Callahan's come on like a young 18-year-old with the energies that she's showing.
Yeah. Talk about no, I'm not going to say she's trying to prove a point. Maybe the manager said here, push up, because certainly she spent the majority of time she's been on the pitch inside the opposition penalty area.
She just has fantastic leadership. You know, if she starts the game, she gives 100%. If she closes the game, she gives 100%. And, you know, she's banging the goals this year in the Niffle Premier League.
On comes Trocca, who was also a lit substitute against Hungary. Could fall for Furness. Struck with real venom, but straight at the defender. McFadden, so unfortunate to be denied what would have been Northern Ireland's second goal. Wilson plays it just behind Andrews and Wade. Certainly finishing the game strong.
It is, and Wade back to her natural left side, and Wilson on the right side for her natural right foot.
First didn't hold back there. Who stood out for you in terms of Northern Ireland performances, and who'll stand out for Tanya Oxtoby?
Yeah, I think in the first half, and I thought Kirsten McGuinness was excellent. I thought her work great, and her delivery was absolutely fantastic. I think overall, the player on the ball right now for me, Simone McGill, she's been very unlucky.
Could it be two? Callahan. Patient. Oh, just plays it behind Lauren Wade. It was a brilliant run made by Emily Wilson in this near side. She busted gut to get up and help the attack. That cross didn't quite make it as far as her, but real statement of intent in these last couple of minutes from the Northern Ireland attackers, wanting to add another one, just provide that little cushion. Here they come again. Again, it's Andrews and Wilson wanting it. Ball comes in. It's going to be a throw-in instead. Game really starting to open up. There's another example of it. McKenna. Back to McFadden. A little bit of keep ball being played. Just a reminder, the Republic of Ireland in the same group already won 4-0 this evening away in Hungary, so they have maximum points and a rather healthy goal difference after 2 games. Northern Ireland would go into second with this victory, ahead of both Albania and Hungary on a point apiece, but Albania will feel that there's still time here. It's starting to tick down, starting to look a little bit more wary as Northern Ireland spread the ball from side to side. Here is Vance. Super ball in. Andrews just too high for her. The defender saw it very late, but lashed it clear. Might come in again from McKenna. No, she's instead elects to go back to McFadden.
See, Vance is dead high as well, with her arms up.
Callahan's through the middle. Here's McGill, who finds Wilson. 4 or 5 in the middle to aim at, but Albania getting back in numbers 2. Wilson, did that flick off a hand? Don't think it was intentional from the defender. And the free kick relieves the pressure on the Albanian backline. More good play. There's the initial chance. And this is Emily Wilson. And yes, I think it flicked off her teammate and then struck the arm of the substitute. Dockey still needs watching. Wilson gets a toe in there as we enter the final minute of this game. Out of play for another throw-in by Sarah McFadden on cap number 100. How she would dearly love to seal it with a victory. Dockey towards the back post, and it's going to drift over. And Turner's just going to calm things down. You can already see her doing that, just waiting for the official to raise her board and find out how much additional time is going to be played.
5 minutes.
The fourth official has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes additional time, 5 minutes.
So still plenty of time for Albania.
And Northern Ireland, Thomas, to get another one.
Here they are in the attack. They have looked the more likely side to score more goals. Furness just played a little bit too far behind her. McFadden shadowing Docky, and now gaps are starting to emerge. Toure. Andrews tracks back and does her job. Play it in, and a touch there could have caused all kinds of problems. It was Metalla, the substitute, powering in. Again, Berisha, the player who's provided the quality on the ball. She's been another one of the Albanian standouts, but as time ticks down, they are starting to commit more players forward. Here is Toure. Another throw at Docky. Played towards this near side. And out of play for a goal kick. Is that the final attack? Just over 2.5 minutes remaining. There's a chill to this September night now. Flicked on by Furness. Wilson wins it back. McGill's through the middle. A second would certainly secure the 3 points, and it was almost an own goal in the end. Defender was very fortunate that Rex Heppy held on to it. McFadden, so far up the pitch, has a go with her left foot. What a fairy tale that would have been. On her weaker left foot, McFadden had a go. She hit it with real conviction, and well, that would have been the perfect conclusion.
It would have been, and opened up so well for her.
There's the initial attack, and it was just flicked into the hands too kind. Fortunate that goalkeeper was well positioned, and then McFadden let fly. Pumped in. Furness wins it in the air. Flick forward again by Andrews. Good strength from Furness. And a super pass to find McGill. Support from Wade. McGill might not need her. Good tackle though. Just pushed McGill away from goal. It was Malachi again. Still McGill. Callahan tipped over. Rex Heppy, it has to be said, has been outstanding. Going the wrong way here. Callahan made a good connection. And that's a top-class save.
Yeah, and brilliant from Callahan to be able to generate that power from the ball behind her.
Into the final few seconds. Northern Ireland just taking their time with this corner kick. I think Demi Vance is going to go short. Jolie Andrews just taking it to the corner, winning the throw in, and that should be enough to see this one out. I'll glance at the watch of the assistant. Andrews once again. Throw in once again. And Tanya Oxtoby has secured her first victory as Northern Ireland manager. Northern Ireland's first in this new look Nations League competition. It was Lauren Wade on her 50th cap who scored the all-important goal. It could well have been more, but the home side had to make do with one on a special night for Sarah McFadden, the Centurion, and the 50 capper with a big hug. McFadden was denied on a couple of occasions, but one was enough for Northern Ireland. 3 valuable points in the group. They go in the second spot, and their impressive run at Seaview continues.
Excellent.
Job done?
Job done. I think Northern Ireland really looked mature. I think hats off to Tanya. She's come in a short period of time. She's starting to understand her players. I thought the substitutes that she made in the second half were exciting. We managed the game. We looked good. We were on the front foot in the latter stages, and 3 points, and that's all you can ask for.
Sarah McFadden, 100 caps, big hugs from Abby McGee and Kirsty McGuinness. Denied by the goalkeeper with that brilliant header that looked in all the way, and then had an opportunity from outside the box laid on. 2 games, 1 victory for this international break. Next up, it's a double header against Hungary. 6 games before Christmas, and well, it was important for Northern Ireland to get off the board. Preparation is not ideal given that they were delayed in traffic as Albania were, but they didn't let that affect them. A new look side and a victory here at Seaview. There's the huddle, and what will be said inside that huddle. Plenty of smiles anyway.
Yeah, job done. I think since I've been speaking to Tanya, her favourite word is improvements. So I think that's what she'll say. She says it will be a game just to build on. We had opportunities, but now we need to start taking them.
But it is a good foundation.
It really is. I think we saw some really forward-thinking play. Expansive at times, how we're still, the willingness of being able to play out of the back and play through the thirds, and lots of rotations there from the midfield, and to get our full-backs involved as well was lovely to see.
So what are the standout positives you feel over the course of the 2 games, not just tonight?
I think from a player standpoint, you got to earn it. Nobody's going to be getting a free ride here. No one's going to get an opportunity unless you've earned it. I think you've seen that. The players that did well in the first game got another opportunity in the second game. And then I think from a Northern Ireland point of view, I think it's exciting that Tanya's been able to hit the ground running. She's got her first win. We've got points on the board, and it keeps everything tight now.
And given the changes, it showed the hunger within the squad when you look at the performance of some of the players who maybe didn't play on Saturday.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think the ones that started this game, there you see Sarah McFadden getting the jersey to keep from the manager, which is lovely, and you just see her family here. It's just a really momentous occasion for them.
It's 100 for McFadden, 50 for Wade. There, the 2 jerseys being held up. Nice for Lauren Wade. They also have the captain's armband for that second half. 150 appearances between the duo, and a lovely night for them here in North Belfast.
It is, and when they finish and people ask, what about your 50th cap and your 100th cap, and when you can go away with a victory, it just makes it all a little bit sweeter.
It certainly would have been the objective before the game. Both Lauren Wade and Sarah McFadden would have wanted to have made sure that it was about the collective rather than individual. She's making her way across here now, showing off the jersey. There's a handful of McFadden supporters in that area. They unveiled the banner early on. Some of our family members as well showing off the banner. And isn't it nice that Sarah McFadden's just going across to have a chat with them afterwards. The McGuinness sisters deep in conversation alongside Abby McGee.
She might be the translator.
Well, certainly there's plenty of dialogue going on. Kirsten McGuinness made a big impact in this game, particularly in the first half. You were very impressed with her performance, and well, it was a case of job done in the second, Gail.
Yeah, it really was. I think as soon as we got our goal, we looked really on the front foot. And like I said, I think the changes just was able to finish the game right. And I think we talk about all the time, if you're a starter or you're a finisher, you've got a job to do. And I think Northern Ireland did that tonight.
There's Rachel Furness signing a few shirts as it's finished here at Seaview. Northern Ireland 1, Albania 0. Lauren Wade with the only goal of the game. So Northern Ireland win their first game in this new look Nations League. They now progress to play a double-header against Hungary, and let's look back on some of the opportunities throughout the game. There were so many from Northern Ireland's point of view. It was a case of when the goal was going to come. Here are some of the examples in the first half. Lauren Wade going really close, struck it well, just denied by the woodwork, and then was what was probably a theme after that, Gail, the quality of the Albanian goalkeeper who thwarted Northern Ireland time after time. Rex Heppy here getting in the way of Simone McGill's effort, but I suppose a positive from a coaching perspective is Northern Ireland were giving themselves their opportunity. They were getting the right areas of the pitch. They were establishing those chances, a couple for Simone McGill, and well, the second half then followed a similar pattern.
Yeah, it did, and I think there you can see the quality of delivery, but it's the movement that helps that, and I think you've seen that. I think we've seen numbers forward, we see midfield rotations, and especially in the first half, I was so impressed by how quickly we were keen to win the ball back, and I think that's the theme. If we can get that for 90 minutes, we'll see Northern Ireland really improve.
The tempo was still the same in the second half. There was no lull at all, and there was no panic. It seemed. What do you think was said at half-time in terms of maybe the frustration, if you like, about one of those opportunities not ending up in the back of the net?
Yeah, I would say there's probably a lot of encouragement because they were doing the right things. I mean, they need to keep going, but you got to get that goal. And I think even the change where Lauren Wade just positions herself in around the box, maybe we weren't doing that as much in the first half, but to get a tap in your 50th cap, that's a nice way to finish, isn't it?
Well, this is a big moment. Let's have a look at it now. Lauren Wade, as you mentioned, wearing the armband for the second half. In the right place at the right time after Caldwell powered that header goalwards. A little subdued celebration from Wade, but I'm sure this meant so much, given it was cap number 50, a tap in for her after all the spectacular goals she scored in recent times. And it felt that it was going to be the first of many, but the Albanian goalkeeper had other ideas, and Northern Ireland had to be content with just the 1 point. Sarah McFadden was very unlucky. You mentioned a fairy tale, what it would have been, but how this stays out in this scenario here from a corner kick. It would have been a trademark Sarah McFadden goal in this situation. Does everything right, picks her spot, and the goalkeeper, Rex Heppy, scurried across to get a good hand on it.
Yeah, it's what Sarah McFadden does so well, isn't it, around that back post, and she leaps well. And the goalkeeper, you know, we said before the game we didn't think she was tall, but she's commanded the box and she moves her feet. And another one here with her left peg from distance, and it's improved over the years. And she'll tell you, I think, from playing centre back and having to be able to be competent in both feet, but the fact that it opens up and she has the confidence to hit it shows her experience there.
Marissa Callahan also went very close, denied late on. But let's look at the table after 2 games in this group. There are 6 matches before Christmas and potentially those relegation promotion playoffs in the new year. But after 2 matches after their 4-0 victory tonight, the Republic of Ireland lead the way on 6 points. An emphatic victory away to Hungary after that 3-0 win in Dublin on Saturday. The likes of Denise O'Sullivan, Carusa and Kitty McKee amongst the goal scorers there. So Republic of Ireland lead the way at the top of the group, but after this game, Northern Ireland in the second, Hungary and Albania with just a point after their opening 2 games. Let's look at what's coming up now on BBC. We've got plenty of Irish Premiership games live over the coming weeks. On Saturday, we've also got Sports Sound on BBC Radio Ulster and on BBC Sounds. Then our next feature Irish League game is Glenavon taking on Larne on Saturday evening at 5:30. But that's about it from Seaview. Thank you very much to Gail for your time. It is a bitterly cold night here in North Belfast, but I don't think the Northern Ireland players, and in particular Sarah McFadden, is going to be too concerned. She marked her 100th Northern Ireland appearance with a first Nations League victory under Tanya Oxby, and the goal scorer was Lauren Wade on her 50th cap. The script was written in the stars. Enjoy the rest of your evening.